I think that as a country we haven't really taken on board in, I suppose, a sufficiently serious way either the extent of the risk or the extent of the challenge that we face in terms of addressing climate change going forward. So if we talk climate change and South Africa at present, I think that the issues related to climate change get overlain on the broader socio-economic situation, which is one characterized by two things. Firstly, that our economy at the moment is fairly stagnant, and secondly, that we have some very serious problems related to unemployment and poverty and increasing inequality. So I think that the links between climate change and the broader socio-economic issues are quite significant and do need attention. What are we going to do about addressing the impacts of climate change, and then how are we going to finance and manage that? In relation to the impacts of climate change, I think that things like the drought that we had in the Western Cape last year and earlier on this year made people suddenly start to realize the extent of South Africa's water risk. And one of the big things that we need to do, particularly as business, is to build our resilience so that the issues of long-term drought, long-term drying, as well as extreme weather don't pose such severe risks to us. The second issue really is the issue of a long-term strategy around decarbonizing the economy. The issues of just transition become very important in an economy that really is characterized by a low level of skills and a very high level of unemployment. One of the important tasks that we have is to develop a plan that finds a space for all stakeholders and a time frame that is really manageable and allows for long-term planning and long-term preparation for a very different kind of energy economy. I think that we need an overarching vision that is underpinned by a very clear policy and policy coherence around the way forward. And I think that to an extent the Sustainable Development Goals and their targets offer some direction forward in terms of setting out in very concrete terms what are the issues that have to happen in order to both build resilience to the impacts of climate change as well as to mitigate our emissions. I think that the willingness of business to act needs to be matched by a high degree of coherence on the part of government in terms of policy and legislation, and a willingness to not only engage with business but with all the other actors in society around this, including, I think very importantly, trying to understand what the skills base is that is going to be needed for a more climate resilient and less emission intensive economy.